Alright, man, we back. We live, man. Episode 4.
Episode 4. As you can see, I don't think y'all noticed, we got the studio upgrades.
I should know this. Yeah, I don't see
we got the studio upgrades. We got our own spot.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling extra happy about it. I'm feeling extra important.
Hey, I mean,
Episode 4, the studio changed.
Right. We got the studio now. Hit him with the Diddy, shutting down the studio.
Yeah, we good. We good. Monitors in the back. Once we figure out how to work all this, you know what I mean? We'll get it visually, you know what I'm saying, straight for y'all.
And for the people listening on the podcast joint, man, we just in the studio now, so, you know, we just trying to level up on y'all, trying to give y'all better quality, you know, for these facts that we just about to hit y'all with, man. So, we're going to jump right into it, man. Episode 4. Couple topics that we want to hit them with, man. The first one is going to be about HBCUs, and for those who don't know what HBCU stands for, it's Historical Black Colleges and Universities. Now, if you didn't even know such a thing exists, you might wonder, well, if there's colleges specifically for black people, why don't some of the top players, which are 9 times out of 10 black, go to these schools?
Right. Man.
And we're going to get into it. I mean, this is a topic real near and dear to my heart because I'm a product of an HBCU, Johnson C. Smith, Charlotte, North Carolina. You know what I mean? Alumni. Shout out to the Golden Bulls. But we're going to jump right into it, man. And I'm going to let you kick it off and, you know, talk about why some of the top prospects all around the country don't go to HBCUs, and what are some possible things that can change that.
This is a tough one, man. We really started talking about it. I think we were talking basketball one day, and then I think we were talking about if we could do it all over again.
Right.
Like, if the focus was, okay, I want to play at A&T, or I want to play at Shaw, or I want to play at, the different levels of the Division I and Division II HBCUs. I really feel like that goal or that dream is more achievable. Versus, like, I'm trying to go to Carolina. Like, at the same time, like, we're not downplaying ACC basketball. That's the highest level.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But the main thing we want to get into is some of the things we don't think about when it comes to the HBCUs. Because these schools, socially and educationally, are built to make us, help us get to the next level.
Right. And
I feel like from an understanding standpoint, from a learning environment standpoint, I feel like it would be easier, not tougher to blend in as much, like better understanding with the professors, because it's like they're looking at you like you were them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At that age, and it's a different type of care. That they want to put into you and put in that situation. But I think if we were talking specifically athletic-wise, I think the first thing that you have to go to is atmosphere.
Crazy.
I mean, kids go crazy in high school about playing in the big game or the packed game or the game that's lit, you know what I'm saying, where it's deep. I don't care what your school record is. I don't care who's on the team. And at an HBCU, that game is lit all the way. Like it's turned.
Start to end.
Like, I mean, from the band being inside the gymnasium to I can't even call them cheerleaders. Them ain't cheerleaders. Those ain't cheerleaders with those moves, girl.
Yeah.
Not with those moves, girl. I got to get in the camera on that.
The cheerleaders, the dancing.
I mean, like the DJ, you know what I'm saying, the crowd having a chance, they sayings, all those different things. Like, in that atmosphere, it's hard for any player that does not love the game to not give 110%. What you think about that, Ray?
I mean, I think what you're saying is absolute, especially being a product of that, as I mentioned earlier. Like, when I used to go to games at Smith, it was deafening in there. And, like, don't let nothing exciting happen. Like, we had to play a Marco Spears. I mean, he probably was, like, 6'6", 6'7", but probably easily could touch the top of the backboard. So when the point guard would throw it off the backboard to him and he would jump and the gym would go bonkers. Everybody's screaming. It's crazy. It's just like it's definite. The other team definitely got to call timeout. Back to the dunk and stuff we talked about episode 2, but it was a phenomenal atmosphere, and I don't think I would trade it for anything in the world. And it goes back to like a slight change of direction when we talking about from an educational standpoint. That was because when I came down to North Carolina to figure out what school I was going to go to, it was between Johnson C. Smith and UNCC. And when I took the tour at UNCC, shout out to UNCC, it's a fantastic school. They actually build it now. It's going to be a premier school in the Carolinas. But I already felt like I was going to be lost in the sauce. Like, the classroom sizes were crazy. The campus was crazy. Like, it was just, everything was like, when your school has its own bus line, it's going to be crazy. So when I went to Smith, I was like, yo, I can come here. I can learn. I can give help when I need it. Again, the teachers look like me, so they understand what I'm going through. And that was from an academic standpoint. And I think going there helped me launch my career and turn me into the person I am today. Back to the athletics, man. Like, I think one of the biggest knocks we see is lack of resources in HBCUs. And if you've been to HBCU, especially if it's not state funded, Johnson C. Smith is not state funded, it's private. It's you got to reach into the pockets. It's a little expensive.
That was the remember one of the first things that we were talking about too was just like facilities is terrible, man.
For it to be absolutely.
Like, I mean, it's bad. I'm talking sometimes one gym, half a weight room, not really the access.
Old weights.
You know what I'm saying? But my counterpoint to that at the same time is it's like it's the people who make that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because even with as bad as facilities they have, I mean, you probably gonna have majority of your games gonna be sold out or packed out.
Yep.
So it's like, as a people or just as athletes, if we actually put more money into those schools by actually applying there,
right,
instead of giving all these application fees and everything, the situation that we're gonna get kicked out of in the first year or first year and a half. Does maybe those facilities change?
Maybe.
Does maybe those things look, maybe those things look differently? You know what I'm saying? I remember it was a time where, the CIAA was sponsored by Russell Athletic, man.
Yeah. I mean,
low key, I think they still are. I think it's the MEAC, the only one. The MEAC is one of the ones that changed the Nike.
I think they still are sponsored by Russell Athletic.
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, and just to give you a picture of what, like when I was in school from 2001 to 2005. We didn't have our own football stadium until like my last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, and even the football stadium they built, it was just like, I heard a podcast not too long ago, they was joking on our football stadium because we only got one side. We only got one side for the fans and the other side ain't nothing on it. And like we got a half a bleacher, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, chill, yo. It took us a minute to get that.
St. All just got theirs, but I mean, theirs is nice. Though.
Yeah. I mean, but
St. All's is nice.
So they coming up, man, but just to, a quick sidebar, man. I want to hit you with these facts, man. I was doing a little bit of research. Back in 2015, a gentleman by the name of Sean R. Harper, produced an article labeled "Black College Football and Basketball Players Are the Most Powerful People of Color on Campus." And one of the comments that I pulled from that article was, black men were 2.8% of undergraduate students, but 57.1% of football players and 64.3% of men's basketball players across the 77 major sports programs.
That's crazy, yo. And that's what I'm saying, man.
Like, so basically the only black kids going to these PWI schools are the athletes.
And this is the crazy part. And it goes back to what we was talking about, man. It's just like, imagine if you're Harry Giles, you're Marvin Bagley's, or any of those top-ranked guys, like, were to go to NC Central.
Yo, I remember Dennis Smith put out a tweet back when he was still in high school. He said, Imagine if me, Harry, and Bam went to A&T.
That's what I'm saying.
Stupid.
Because
Stupid.
But the crazy part of it is the school would get pub and media coverage, which means more opportunities for money. The schools would then get offered opportunities to play in bigger games, more money opportunities for the schools. They'd make it pro, more money opportunities for the school.
Yep.
And so it's like, it's the same with anything else. Like, we can change the game.
We can. But you know what? I think the hardest part about that is somebody has to be willing to take the first step. Because the person who takes the first step, or the people who take the first step, they're going to have to suffer through the lack of resources. They're going to have to suffer through the lack of marketing. They're going to have, like, being the trendsetter is usually the hardest part about changing.
But that's the beautiful thing I'm saying that we have is because it's like, say for instance, if you were to go to an A&T or a Central, like that's the Division I level of the HBCU.
Right.
So they actually do have the facilities to at least, you know what I'm saying? Because like Central's been to the tournament. A&T possibly could go to the tournament this year if they win the MEAC. I think they won the regular season.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So it's just like, if they do that and then they were to go to win a game or two, you know what I'm saying? Like, now there's more money, more things you can have, man. And just kind of moving to that next point about that, being that we just talked about the players, is for me is the legacy standpoint. Like leaving a legacy. Like, I think what we lose sight of, and it's probably because, you know, we're not getting taught this. You know what I'm saying? I know I recently just kind of started to sprinkle these gems on my AAU kids, but I haven't always done it. Is like ultimately when you play this game, I mean, when we're younger we have dreams of the NBA and all those different things, but ultimately like when you're done, you want to be able to have a body of work.
Right.
You want to be able to leave your mark to a point to where like if you were able to go back to this one gym, whether it was in North Dakota, South Dakota, Florida, your parents or your kids will see you getting recognized for doing something well. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the CIAA, like, for a perfect example, this is a Division II tournament that brings in over $5 million each year. That brings out the biggest celebrities. You know what I'm saying? That literally changes a city for the entire week. Like, if you were to go to a CIAA school and make first team or get all CIAA honors or have a great CIAA tournament, people will remember you for 30 years.
Yeah, these are facts.
Like every time you go back to their homecoming, they're going to bring up that time or that season where you were that guy. And me and Ray have been to these games. Like, these are regular guys at their high school that just happened to continue to work hard, you know what I'm saying, when they was at school, and they had a great year, and they get records. So it's like, we do all this to play Division I, to play 10 minutes a game your entire career. Like, what do you have to show for it?
Exactly.
Like, what do you really have? Then if you really wasn't focused on your academics and propelling yourself in a situation where educationally, you know, you would be superior to others, like, what are you really doing? What do you have to look back on? Like, the homecomings, like, just to, like, I feel like HBCUs had the stuff money can't buy, man.
Most PWIs don't even have homecoming.
Right.
Like, I mean, I know UNCC didn't have a homecoming for a reason because they just got a football team.
No, but just think about it, like,
I mean,
like, they got the stuff that money can't buy, man. Like, you learning about your culture.
right.
Like, you being able to come back, get a fish sandwich with the boys every year the same day.
Be
Bring
back on
your
the yard.
kids, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Union.
you know what I'm saying? Like, watch your kids grow up through that. Get your kids put on all those things. Like, dog.
Yeah, it's crazy. And quick sidebar on what you were saying. I want to throw my man some love. William Tatum.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Fayetteville State legend. You know what I mean? Even to this day, I remember he was telling me a story about how he was at the CIAA and somebody was playing old tapes in the background. Yeah. And he was like, all he heard was William Tatum for 3. And he went, he was like, yo. And the lady was like, yo, you want to shoot? He was like, yo, that's me. And she was like, no, it isn't. And he was like, yo, like,
this is my ID. Yo, I'm William Tatum. Stop playing with me.
This is me. You know what I mean? And, you know, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Tate, I'll holler at you when I can, but I think he was leading the country in threes. I mean, not number one, but he was like top 5 in 3-point percentage when he was in school, bro. Like, that's legendary status, bro.
Right. Right.
Like, and his 2 boys, Isaac and Isaiah.
Storm. Storm Tatum.
They have
Storm, man.
they got something to look up to from a basketball sense, right? Like yo, you gotta surpass me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
My dad was a buck.
Yeah,
this is the facts.
Right. I was a 6 foot something shooting guard, lights out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine how that made them feel. Like dad bringing them to homecoming.
Right.
Everybody tell them your dad was this, your dad. Was now you going back. In the back girl, like.
Yeah, my dad was a superstar.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, how many of the guys that played at Carolina that don't make it to the NBA have that story?
Not one. Because it's at Carolina. I mean,
and think about it. This is a man that works a regular job.
Yep.
But whenever he goes back to the tournament, people remember, like.
Yeah, that's what he,
That's what he
did.
did.
Fayetteville State dude, you know what I'm saying? He lit him up. Another thing, and I told him I'd give him a shout out, my frat brother, my LB, Christopher Burke. We were talking about the same topic, about HBCUs, and with the whole scandal going on in the NCAA, he mentioned, like, he was like, yo, I tell you a quick fix for this. He was like, yo, just, everybody go to the HBCU, make it its own league.
Right.
And the NCAA is done. And then I, again, be doing the research, right? Let me pull out the papers.
I'm about to smack your black book out your hand.
Nah, I'm smacking black book.
Let me give me that, son. Lead the league in steals and sipping.
Some dude by the name of Patrick Herbie.
Both.
Yeah, back in 2017. The plot to disrupt the NCAA with a pay-for-play HBCU basketball league. Basically, this article talks about, HBCU say, all right, we're going to separate ourselves from the NCAA, we're going to create our own league, and we're going to pay the players.
That's tough.
And I was just like, yo,
that's tough.
Crazy. Because now, even though at this very moment we lack the resources, we paying you to come here. Who else is doing that? You ain't got to worry about it.
And the environment crazy.
You ain't got to look over your shoulder for getting paid for your likeness.
Oh, Bap Jack feels cool. Not even on the can't even see that. Low key, the camera just caught my good side. I was looking at I was looking, you was looking at son. My fault.
But like, can you imagine that? Like,
like
Jalen LeCue.
Stop at A&T.
At A&T or Central.
That's crazy.
And he getting paid 10 bands a month because he bringing in millions for the school because everybody want to see him. Everybody know, this kid is a highly possible future.
And that's the thing. Let me explain something to you. Ronald Flip Murray, Shaw University, 10-year NBA vet. One point in time in the NBA was top 5 in scoring. Ray Allen got hurt. Several playoff moments. When that young man was at Shaw for those 2 years and they won that national championship, if you didn't get to the game at 5, bro, you couldn't get in.
It was done.
So that's the thing. Like if a real prospect was to do that, he's gonna get treated the right way. He's gonna get treated the right way. And just to give you a perfect example of the atmosphere. Excuse my language. At the University of North Carolina A&T, right? Mm-hmm. If you foul out, they play host sit down, and everybody in the stands sing. Listen, like. That's crazy. Man, if I'm on the court and I play for them, I'm wilding on my man that just fouled out. You out of here. You out of here. I mean, that's tough.
It's like that across. Small school like Johnson C. Smith. When they got the chanting, JC, one side, the other side, SU. Yeah. You can't hear nothing in there. Yeah. You ain't making no free throws.
Man, free throw like this. So real quick for this camera, shout out to Mike. You know what I mean?
Mike, I'm still in the meeting. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Mike.
Give me, you know what I'm saying?
Callie, your dunk contest judging is terrible. Your new track with Beyonce and them, it's alright.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. You stick to that.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna stick to the basketball, but you stick to that.
You're not the camera.
Yeah, I know. My fault. We back, camera. My bad. I was on lean.
So I think the possibilities are endless because, again, you're talking about marketing, you're talking about resources, you're talking about opportunity along with the educational piece. You know, HBCUs are typically much smaller than PWIs, so that family atmosphere is there, especially when you're trying to learn. Because let's be real, school isn't for everybody. But when you have somebody there willing to help you, giving you opportunity because they know your name, which is, I'm telling you kids, when y'all go to these schools, y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. These professors ain't gonna have no idea who you are.
They're just gonna say something.
They're gonna say something. You're gonna do it.
You can put your hand up or whatever. They don't go about their business. 5 absences, 6 absences later, you out of there.
Right.
Drop hat. Gone.
Right.
Out of there. Quick.
Right. Next semester.
What's up with the next topic though?
Next
man?
topic. So, matter of fact, it's your topic. Go ahead. Get into it. Talk to the people about it. It's the evaluation.
I need you to set me up, man. I need you to set me up on this one, man. So I can. Right now, you got the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the baseline. I'm about to come up the screen.
So
I need you to set me up real quick.
So basically, we talking about what is evaluation, right? Is being evaluated by a scout evaluation? Like myself. And it's crazy that you use this word because, like, I don't consider myself a scout. I consider myself an evaluator. And this is no knock on anybody who does consider themselves a scout. It's just something I wanted to do to separate myself. And when I'm writing a report on a kid, I don't just say the good things, right? And I don't trash them neither. I've seen some reports where these adults trash these kids, and I feel like that's horrible. But I give them like what you call a love sandwich, right? A little bit of good, a little bit of bad, followed by a little bit of good, right? And it's just, here's what you do well, here's what you do not so well, here's what you need to focus on in the future, if you want to be that guy.
I'm trying to get them brothers a real sandwich.
So,
trying to get them brothers a real sandwich.
Turkey and cheese, right? So I mean,
I got you, son.
So is it that, or is it a self-evaluation?
So this is the topic where parents, players, specifically talking to you at this point, just want to turn you on to something. And this is, once again, this is opinion. I absolutely 100% stand behind my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think it's the correct way. But it's just something I want to turn the players on to. Because I feel like at this point, like, it kind of bounces off your NCAA situation. Like, I feel like people are making money off of you, and you're not getting real answers. Let's just be specific. You know what I'm saying? I'm going ruffle 8.
Easy.
I'm gonna ruffle
easy.
I'll ruffle some feathers on this one, man. But this is where we are with it. Okay, it's 2018. For the most part, you know, players and parents are always thinking when it comes to basketball, and evaluation is about scouting camps. Those are the big things. I want to get evaluated. I want to go to this camp. I want to go to that camp. Then it's a situation where you may not be loose. It may be 150 people in the gym. You do drills for 20 minutes with people you don't know. Then all of a sudden you play games, and if people don't know you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be different. Like, there's times when you can go to evaluation camp, and because you don't know the guys you're playing with, and you may have an off shooting day, you may get 2 shots the whole day.
Shit, 2 touches.
You may be wide open and guys don't throw you the ball. You may be in a situation where you get put on a team, and that team is just a bad team. And then you never look good, you never win. Like, it's a lot of different factors that go into that. But my message to you today is this, audience. All right. There's a way you can get your power back. The way you can get your power back is understanding how to go about this game. All right, and so the whole point of us making this topic today of self-evaluation is as simple as what we're saying. Like, it's self-evaluation. So what happens if you put yourself, let's say for instance, you're a 5'10" guard. You're an 8th grader, right? You're an 8th grader right now. Season just ended. You're about to start high school. All right? The reason why I'm using the 8th grader and using this time is because this is a time where you could have been dominant, and all of a sudden now it's going to start back over.
Right.
Because you have to be a freshman. So, really, if it's about specifically getting better, you always have to put yourself in a situation to play against players that are better than you. What I mean by that is this. If you're in the 8th grade, a player that's better than you could be your homeboy or your older brother that's just stronger than you. Mm-hmm. That's literally going to rip the ball, go to the basket, and push you down out the way. Because what you're going to learn from those battles when you play that person is how to stay in front of the ball and stand straight up on a person that's bigger than you.
Yep.
That's very big for an 8th grader going to the 9th grade. Playing against somebody if I'm a big, that's faster than me. Mm-hmm. Always trying to play one-on-one, one of my guard homeboys at the practice. What is that going to do? That's going to make you a great pick-and-roll defender as a big, which now takes away a coach's option because that's what they go to in late-game situations. Being in the 9th grade and playing in an adult league, what that's going to do is give you an IQ because now you're going to play against grown men that understand how to hold the ball, that understand how to post you up, that understand how to get the most out of a possession.
Let me jump in on that real quick. When you play a grown man too, it gives you a better IQ because guess what? You're not bigger.
Right.
You're not stronger. You're not faster. So now what you have to do, your only weapon in that situation is your mind.
Right.
How do you outthink them?
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Like now you have to mentally go back to your fundamentals and strategically attack them mentally. Yep. And that's what the coaches want to see. That's what's Division I. Because that is what you call an overall understanding of the game. That's what you're getting judged off of, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls. That's what it is.
Yes, it is.
So the whole point of us talking about evaluation today is for you now to find your workout buddy. Let me explain to you what a workout buddy is. A workout buddy is something all the pros have. When you see Kevin Durant and LeBron working together in the offseason, you see LeBron and Dwayne Wade in the weight room in the offseason, they're workout buddies. That means it's somebody that you respect, that you know is going to go hard and do the things that you want to do that's going to push you in that environment. That's like going to the gym if you're a shooter and like, all right, now watch this. That's why Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant shoot with each other all the time after practice.
Yeah.
Because now you can't bullshit.
Right.
You can't bullshit. You're going to lose.
You're going to
lose. If you miss one shot, you're going to lose.
And they're so good that they have contests where like whoever shot hits the rim.
Right. Right. That's how detailed it can get. So if you go into the weight room, your workout buddy needs to be a maniac physically. Somebody you know that's going like, hey, we getting it done. It's not going to stop. It's not going to quit on the first time. Same thing if it's an offensive guy. Go with a guy you know that can't guard you. Mm-hmm. That you can't guard.
Right. Okay.
My fault. Rewind. Talking fast. Got into a topic that I love. Okay, I feel like I'm rolling right now. I feel like I got y'all on the ropes. I feel like I got your ears open. All right? So, basically what I'm saying is, by putting yourselves in situations where people are going to push you, where they're better than you, now you get that evaluation yourself. Because guess what? If you can't be honest with yourself,
you're never going to get better.
You're never going to get better. It's all about self-discipline. Like that's what it's about. Can you go play against somebody that's bigger and better than you and not quit and play them until you figure it out? Because that's what it is. What you don't understand is you playing against that person every day, 30 days in a row, is the same thing as playing in a 32-minute game and you really focusing on what a guard does in the first quarter and being able to take the ball from him in the fourth because you saw that move in the first. It's mental. All these things that everybody's telling you is mental. When they tell you all those different things, you have to be able to understand that and see in what aspect and situation do you have to change that in the game, because that's the other thing that y'all kids don't understand. Right. The evaluators they tell you what they think, an opinion. They don't tell you where or when to use it. Mm-hmm. You just see it and you start changing your game. Then you go to the next camp and you see it again, start changing your game. Eventually, you done lost who you were. That's how, like, when I talk to Ray, there's a lot of times we talk and he's like, man, this kid was something like what happened? Right. Everybody telling them something that's not the truth. And now the kid thinking all these different things. Go back to episode 1. Parent telling you one thing, coach telling you one thing, trainer telling you one thing, 17 scouts telling you one thing. Now you don't even know what you good at yourself.
Right.
What you have to do is take control of the situation. Start really working on your game. Start really putting yourself around positive people that's going to push you and have the same like-minded goals and dreams. And then y'all dream and grow together. Like, even though, this is what I'm saying, even though all those boys from Fayetteville didn't make it to the NBA with Dennis Smith and some of them are still playing, by Dennis being a product of that, you knew one of them or several of them was going to make it to the NBA. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because it was so many of them, like for so long, they hung around each other. Bam, Dennis, Quay. You know what I'm saying? Like intelligence, Malik, all them boys just banging, playing against each other. Like in that three age group. You know what I'm saying? JJ Smith, all them guys playing against each other. Now the atmosphere where it need to be. Now it's about which one is going to choose to make basketball and making it the priority. Mm-hmm. Dennis Smith Jr. did. Dallas Mavericks.
Now and he set the pathway for him. Right? So now next up knows like, yeah, if I want to get to the league, Same thing happened
in Raleigh with John Wall. I think he blew up, he made it. Now you see all these Raleigh guards on TV. Yep. All these Raleigh kids on TV. And like that's the thing you can't knock or bug because they wouldn't, like, I know now they really believe it because they know somebody in their own city did it. So I mean, the more of the story is, guys, is like you have to understand yourself what it means to work on your game, what you actually really need to work on, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then you have to put people around you that can help you get better at those things, man. So you ain't got to always go to a camp to get a real evaluation of where you are. If your homeboy is cooking you 7 days a week, you need to work on something.
You need to be with him 30 days a week. So
right.
You figure it out. So, I mean, and let me jump in on this, man, because I think this is important. And I really want people to hear what Ant just said. If you got to rewind it, man. But like, self-evaluation is the key. And because I say this because there's nobody you know what you can and can't do.
No.
You know, like, and it's not a secret. Like, you ain't got to hide it from yourself. There's no punishment for you looking in the mirror and saying, "Yo, I'm not good at this. I got to get better." If you know you can't speed dribble with the ball in your left hand. Guess what? You need to get in the gym or go out in the street, don't get hit by a car, and dribble as fast as you can until you get comfortable with it. Now, all of a sudden, you got a left hand. You don't know how to jump, stop, and pull up? Drive as fast as you can, jump, stop on 2 feet, jump straight up in the air. Practice that until it becomes second nature. There's a thing called muscle memory. The more you do something, the more it'll be instinctive and less of a thought process. So, I mean, there's so many different things you can do to help your game. It's not just about going to these camps. And, you know, I know a lot of old school players like myself, like Ant, we get on you kids about always having to have these perfect conditions to play. You got to go to the gym. You got to have a hardwood floor. You got to have a trainer. Like, it doesn't take all of that to
now they won't even shoot with a bad ball. Son.
Yeah.
I got to have a weight. All right.
Yeah. like all of that stuff does not matter. I mean, look at it this way. People made it to the league before all this stuff was available.
No, all they had was the asphalt and 2 rims, bro. And they still made was McDonald's All-Americans. Them brothers still found him, man. Them brothers pulled up. No celly.
No celly.
Pulled up celly at the park.
Yeah, peeked through the fence.
Heard you was the man right here, man. Pulled up 5 stars. Crazy.
You want to go to college? You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's that easy. I mean, Kyrie Irving, he didn't have the fancy little bag that you kids have now where you put it over there. He had a plastic bag from the grocery store that had a knot in it when he dribbled. Can you imagine having a knot like it? It's crazy. It's so many different opportunities that you can create yourself. It's not only you being in a gym with a trainer or hardwood floors, man. Just so whatever you need to do, go out and do it and reach out.
Reach out, man.
We here. I'm always here. Hit me on Twitter. Hey, coach, I got this. How can I get better?
Also, man, to the audience, man, I'm talking to you guys, but I'm available too, man. I'm in Durham. I'm at Voyage Academy. I'm in Raleigh. I'm at the Teen Center. while you speak, as soon as the camera go off, I'm about to go do a practice right now. So for me, it's not a game. Literally, I'm about to go do a practice and a tryout right after this. Let me get close to the camera because it's storm season. I need y'all to really understand that storm is coming. That storm is coming.
We need to get sound effects, man, so we can get the lightning and the thunder sounds and all that.
Bow, bow, bow.
All that, man. But I think we hit y'all with a lot of gems today, man.
Yeah,
I think if we do too much, man, we gonna overload y'all. So we gonna pull it right here, man.
Shout out to Voyager, we gotta get to. Yeah, they had Nike, you know what I mean? So I know you're looking at this is Nike, you know what I mean? It's high school, you know what I mean? This is what we do. It's alright.
Shout out to Voyager, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to William Tatum. Yo, shout out to my one of my homies, Facts Fiction, man. Like for the shirt too, man. He makes a lot of good stuff. Y'all check that out.
What's up?
But other than that, man, that's episode 4, man.
Episode 4,
We
man.
holla at y'all later.
Appreciate y'all, man.